Coming to you live from the Black Goat 39 studios, this is the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. Now here's your host, the Guru of Sports. Thank you. Much too kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, sports fans, and welcome. We're going to keep applauding. Anyway, there you go. Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Guru Talkin Sports. This is episode 23, and I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Guru Talkin Sports. Obviously, today is going to be a little bit, we're going to try to pick it up a little bit, but just want to say that it's really nice. It is really nice to have a full weekend of sports that I can talk about. Now, this episode here, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. We got football, basketball, baseball, hockey, you name it, we got it basically. But, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. And the main thing I'm going to talk about today is probably baseball and these Miami Marlins. Oh my gosh. This is about the weirdest thing I ever seen. And, baseball has just fumbled all over itself and just done the wrong thing. I'm sitting up here right now watching the Portland Trailblazers and the Boston Celtics, and, they're inside the bubble and they're doing great. And no, you can't fault anybody in baseball but the commissioner, Rob Manfred. If he would have did something like this, had baseball have teams like in certain cities in just one bubble, or in, playing in bubbles and stuff like that, it would have been pretty decent. But, like basically now, this is a mess. I mean, it's a true mess. And believe me, I've never seen anything like this. Now, before I go into this, I just want to say thank you guys for, the guys that, make this show, make this podcast. I really want to thank them. And first of all, I want to thank Ray Guru for the great introduction. I really love the introduction and I appreciate it. And right now, Ray, you just do a spectacular job. I wanted to tell you that. So thank you, Ray Guru, my main musical director and engineer. Appreciate you, Ray Guru. Caden Guru isn't here today. He's the executive producer and board op. But if you can tell, I was operating the board a little bit and fumbling around. But then again, hey, we all make mistakes, right? That's one of the things that we can say. We all make mistakes, and we try to redeem ourselves from our mistakes. But anyway, I want to say thank you, Caden Guru. I wish you were here. But we'll see you back hopefully in a couple weeks or so. He wanted to take a weekend off to spend some time with his friends. I don't have a problem with that. But then again, it'd be nice to see Dad once in a while. But he's a kid. We got to understand that. Now, you can follow me. I'm going to go to the social media formats where you can follow me. Follow this podcast. Follow me on different social media formats. Excuse me. YouTube is the Guru of Sports Show on YouTube. Now, like I said before, once I finish this podcast, it automatically goes to YouTube, and you can basically pick it up from there. You can look at it, but you can listen to it. That's the best way to do it, is listen to it. It just has a picture of a graph or so, and you just basically, listen to the show from there. Facebook, I'm at Guru's Daily Shorts on Facebook, and if you need to find me, I'm L Briscoe, E-L Briscoe. Last name is Briscoe, first initials are E-L, and that's why some of the people call me L Briscoe, and that's the reason why. Okay, like I said, follow me on Facebook at the Guru Daily Shorts. I'm under L Briscoe. IG, Instagram, the Guru OS 39. Now on Instagram, I post a lot of different stuff, and like I said, if you're on Instagram, follow me. Just check me out. Like I said, it's a pretty good follow as well. Gmail. You can Gmail the Guru at gurusdailyshorts@gmail.com. Now, I give that out because, like I said, you can reach me in any format. Any format that, I usually definitely, support. You can basically follow me on those formats. And like I said, I have a phone number, but I'm not giving out my phone number. Now, my special guests have my phone number. So, special guests can get the phone number. And if you know me, you have my phone number anyway. All right. And Twitter. Twitter, I'm at Goat39 on Twitter. And my buddy Goaty, the Black Goat, he's sitting back there just chilling. And, everybody knows his deal. He doesn't do anything. All he does is just sits back and watches the show. And like I said, if you watch the Guru Sports Show on YouTube, you can see he doesn't do any much of anything. Tell you the truth, ain't that right, Goaty? I always want to bring him in because, like I said, he always has a little bit of something to say, but not much. Anyway, now you can pick up this podcast in several different ways, and also I'm proud to announce something new. I'm going to announce that in a little bit. Spreaker is the main vessel that we go on there. Spreaker, you follow us on Spreaker, go to Spreaker.com, and you'll see us there. Podchasers, Spotify, Deezer, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addicts, Castbox, iHeartRadio. The big one, we really appreciate you picking us up and putting us on, is Apple iTunes. And we also been picked up by something new. I'm gonna say it the way I see it, and hopefully it doesn't sound wrong. GeoSavin, SAAVN. Okay, Geo is J-I-O, Juo, or J-O. That's how you pronounce it, I guess. I'm on there. I've been trying to get into inside the app to find out what's going on with it. But the thing about it is that it's kind of hard to get into. But like I said, if you're new to the program or new to the podcast, we picked up our 11th. Podomatics is also. We do Podomatics. So like I said, I haven't seen Podomatics in a few. But we do now 11 different formats on different podcast outlets. Like I said, if I'll spell it for you again, JIOSAAVN. Pick us up on that, and like I said, hey, we're on there. All right. First of all, I want to give big props. I already give big props to a couple people. I want to say big props to Jeff Duarte, big head cheese over at Cali Sports News. Jeff, it's great to be back writing again. And believe me, with the Lakers coming back, the Clippers coming back, basketball coming back, I did have something to write on. And like I said, I haven't written in several months because of the pandemic. And like I said, when March 11th hit, shut down there all the sports, it was really wild. And like I said, I think I wrote maybe a couple of articles since then. But like I said, I was glad to get back in the groove of putting together an article on the Lakers and the Raptors from yesterday. Um, like I said, if you don't know what the day is the 5th of August. Now, time is flying by, and believe me, this year cannot get over any sooner. And, next thing you know, we'll be into fantasy football, I've been contacted by a couple of my fantasy football friends, and believe me, I'm kind of like not in the mood right now. But the thing about it is that once it gets a little bit closer, we'll get into it. I think one of my drafts is in on the 30th. But like I said, one of my leagues that I'm in, basically my league, I'm probably going to shut it down for a year because of all the stuff that's going on. And like I said, I'd rather just shut it down for a year, and instead of just putting everything out there and then people getting upset because the guy they had probably got COVID or something like that, and we don't wish that on anybody. And like I said, everybody will have a fair advantage when we get back into my league in 2021. Okay, now, like I said, I usually go into the opening arguments and when I bang the gavel. I'm going to bang the gavel 3 times, and then we can get into the argument. And believe me, these Marlins are unreal. All right, so now we're going to bang the gavel. Caden Guru's not here to bang it and like real crazy like he usually do, but let's start opening arguments. Okay, opening arguments are underway. Now, I'm sitting up here right now looking at the Philadelphia Phillies schedule. I know 60 game schedule. And right now, the Phillies have only played 3 games in the new season. That's because last week, before I left you, they were playing the Miami Marlins. Now, the Miami Marlins are basically the COVID of MLB. Now, I can say that because they have basically ruined a lot of teams' schedules, all this stuff is basically coming back to the Miami Marlins. And believe me, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did when they were in Philadelphia, but they must have went out and had a good time or whatever and contracted the COVID-19 virus. Now, the last count I heard was about like 18 or 19 players. Now, that goes into something else I want to ask you guys about. When they were making this baseball schedule, they said that they basically would have a COVID-19 taxi squad. So if players are infected, they can take those players out and put in a taxi squad where they basically can put those guys in there. We have not seen that. And like I said, I don't understand what's going on with baseball at all. Because like I said, if you look at the Miami Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies schedule right now, they only play 3 games. And Philadelphia was going to play Baltimore at home. Their series was postponed, 4 games there. They were supposed to play Washington in Philadelphia, Marlins. Marlins were supposed to play Baltimore. They are canceled. Washington, they're canceled. Philadelphia, they're canceled. Now, the next time the Phillies probably will get out on the field is tomorrow, on Monday. This is ridiculous. What in the hell is going on with baseball? I mean, you look at the models of what the NBA and what the NHL has done, you basically could have did the same thing. But like I said, now they're just crapping all over themselves, and basically you got the commissioner talking to the players rep or union rep and saying, hey, you know what? If this thing goes on, we might have to shut it down. And every time I hear that, I go back to a quote from Dirk Nowitzki. What did he say?
Oh my God! Oh! Shut it down! Let's go!
Yeah, basically it. Shut it down. Let's go home. You know what? This might be the tipping point where if any other games are being canceled and all because of the Phillies, it's not the Phillies. Believe me, it's not the Phillies. I can't blame the Phillies on this. It's the Marlins. Now, if they keep on with this, basically baseball is going to shut down. And you know what? We hate to see any, we got the momentum of them playing and they're getting into it, but the way they're going to get shut down. They're going to get shut down. And it's a shame because the thing about it is that you got some guys now that are opting out. Lorenzo Cain just opted out yesterday. And believe me, you never know. Like I said, 21, probably it's up at around 20, 21 players are infected. And, it's like all these games are getting postponed. What can you do? It's a mess right now. Now, I want to say something about the Dodgers and the Astros. Oh, yeah, they got a chance to meet, and believe me, it wasn't pretty. Last Monday night, they got into it. They got into a big brawl, and Joe Kelly got suspended 8 games for looking at a player instead of looking at it to the point of he has bad control. He doesn't have a steady arm, so you're basically going to suspend a player for looking at another player. Ridiculous. Get out of here with that. That don't make no daggone sense. How the hell are you going to suspend a guy 8 games for looking at someone? Can I ask you a question? When in 1919, Chicago White Sox were cheating. They basically threw the World Series. In 2019, you basically had, 2018 or whatever, 2018, you basically had another team cheat. Houston Astros. How many players got suspended for that or thrown out of baseball for that? Think about that. Think about that point. Believe me, fair is fair. The Astros should have got a little bit, they should have got hammered. And believe me, right now when players are throwing pitches at them and hitting them, dotting them for cheating, you can't blame them for that. Keep hitting them. I don't care. You know, I really did like the Astros because but you got to pay for it some kind of way. And believe me, I think that most of these guys are going to pay for it some kind of way. Believe me, they are. Now, as we go into football, we didn't get a chance to talk about this because it happened last week. Jamal Adams got traded to Seattle from New York because he wasn't happy of being in New York. And I guess you feel, Seattle's going to be looking pretty good, though. It's gonna be a different team. Seattle has a great players coach, Pete Carroll. I wasn't a big fan of his when he was at USC, University of Steel and Cheat. But the thing about it is that I'm a UCLA fan. I like UCLA. But anyway, he was pretty good. He's a pretty good players coach, and I heard that players love to play for him. All right, Antonio Brown got suspended for 8 games. 8 games. You know what? Would I take a flyer on him? I don't know. You don't really need someone to disrupt your team if you're basically in a situation where you're basically almost assured of probably making the playoffs and probably making a good Super Bowl run. You don't want that type of person on your team. But then again, you never know. He could turn out to be like another T.O. Never know. Gardner Minshew and Matthew Stafford on the COVID-19 list. 5 other Jaguars are on that list as well. Now, I'm not sure what's going on in Jacksonville, but, I'm going to keep my ear on this story. I'm going to listen to, a couple of my guys down in Jacksonville to find out what's going on. And I'll have a little bit better information about it next week. Joey Bosa got paid He got a long-term extension. He's worth it. The guy is like probably one of the best in the business at his position. LaShawn McCoy signs with the Buccaneers. Now, LaShawn McCoy still got a little bit left in him. I'm not sure if the Buccaneers is a pretty good team for him, because you never know. That's going to be a really, really high flying passing team, but better learn how to catch some balls out of the backfield, LaShawn. Let's go to the NBA. And like I said, right now I'm watching the Boston Celtics and the Portland Trailblazers. Trailblazers are don't look too hot. Another thing too is that Boston is probably one of those sleeper teams that I was mentioning a while back. There's a few teams that can win. Let's put that mildly. A few teams that can win the NBA championship this year, and you know what? I put Boston in that conversation. I put Toronto in that conversation, because believe me, from what I seen yesterday from Toronto, they could be a factor even without Kawhi Leonard. We all know that the Clippers are going to be there, because the Clippers have, two of the best players in the league, in Kawhi and PG-13. So you never know. They will be there. And believe me, they didn't look too hot the first game out against the Lakers. And which goes back to a point of LeBron didn't look too hot. LeBron had 20 points yesterday, but the first game against the Clippers, he looked terrible. That first half, he looked terrible. But then again, I gotta digress and say this. Every team right now is going to be a little bit off, or a little bit stiff, or a little bit cold, or not playing to the potential of that they can play, because you know what, they've been in since March 13th or March the 11th or so. Now, like I said, they're basically, these 8 games are probably just practice games, which is good. They need to practice, because guess what? They need to get out there and get back in the swing of being able to run up and down the court for, 48 minutes or so. So, but like I said, I think that, you'll see a little bit better basketball play. All sports, baseball, hockey right now. You'll see these guys come forward as long as the season goes on. And in baseball, hopefully, if the Phillies don't get any more canceled games, the Marlins don't get any canceled games, I was just thinking about kicking the Marlins out. Just say, okay, you know what? We're going to eliminate some teams here, because guess what? I don't think most of these teams are going to play 60 games. And probably how they're going to do this is probably off of win percentage. I don't know. But anyway, got out of basketball and got into baseball again, because baseball is really pissing me off right now. I hate to say it, but, it's really pissing me off. I don't have a problem with, the play on the field. It looks good. I mean, hey, I watch the Dodgers. I watch, the Orioles. They just swept the Tampa Bay Rays, which is good for them. And I like, like I said, surprisingly enough, the Orioles play pretty good. They played pretty good the last 4 games. So, hey, I don't have any problem with it. But the thing about it is that, like I said, basketball, they're going to look a little rusty. That's the word I was actually looking for earlier when I was fumbling around with words or trying to get words to say. They're going to look a little bit rusty until probably about maybe game 6 or 7 or so. Honestly, hopefully it won't take them that long, because really yesterday when I was watching the Lakers, they looked terrible. And Toronto basically shut them down again, like my man Dirk Nowitzki said. But anyway, let me go on to something else in the WNBA. The first round pick, Sabrina Ionescu, got hurt. She has a mild ankle sprain or high ankle sprain or something like that. I'll get you more information on it. But like I said, I really like this young lady. Hey, I watch NBA. I watch WNBA. You know what? Hey, like I told you guys know me. I watch, General Hospital as well. But like I said, you know what? WNBA is good sport. And believe me, guys, you got to get into it a little bit. Hey, if you like basketball like I do, I love basketball. I watch the WNBA. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make you a chump because you don't watch that you watch it, but you know what? Watch it. And like I said, learn the players too. Like I said, my favorite player is Liz Carbage, whatever her name is. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Liz. Don't kill me. Anyway, like I said, watch it and enjoy it. All right. Last thing I'm going to go into is the horse racing thing. I love horse racing. Horse racing is like the only sport that I can basically physically go out, take a few dollars that I got in my pocket, and throw some money down on a horse that I've probably never seen before or never even heard of, and maybe win a little bit back, I love, you know what, I'm not a big time gambler, and I wouldn't call myself a gambler, because like I said, most of the time it's like, hey, you know what, all right, let's say Kentucky Derby time, normal Kentucky Derby time, not this year, not normal Kentucky Derby time. I usually take about $100 and, just go out and throw down exactas. All you need to do is exactas. You never know. You might get the winning horse with a 30-1 long shot, and then you bring it home about like maybe a couple $100 or so. But like I said, I love me some horse racing. Maximum Security, he won the San Diego Derby down in Del Mar about a week ago. I think it was about a week ago. But the thing about Maximum Security, he didn't look good. He didn't look good. And like I said, you never know. He might be a little bit rusty too. But like I said, horse racing, it's a bet. You got to remember that. You're taking your chances with horse racing if you're putting your money on the line. Just remember that. That's a pretty good slogan. I might go with that. You're putting, taking a bet and doing horse racing. It's just, like I said, you're putting your money on the line. Yeah, But anyway, like I said, that's basically all I got. Now, like I said, I do want to say I'm really excited because tomorrow on Monday the 6th of August, is the return of General Hospital. Oh, Monday's not the 6th. Oh, I'm so sorry. I messed up. This is, I was looking at the July calendar. Oh, man. See, the guru's all messed up. But anyway, the 3rd is tomorrow. The 3rd of August is tomorrow. I know the guru messes up sometimes, but not all the time. Anyway, bear with me. 3rd of August, General Hospital to do return. All new, brand new episodes. And like I said, I'll be glad to find out what happened to Michael getting his son back and see if they can put Nell in jail. Hey, obviously, I do kind of like Nell. She's kind of crazy, a little silly. But like I said, if you guys know me, I like Sam. Sam is probably one of the cutest girls on there. And my wife knows. I watch General Hospital. She knows I like Sam. So it ain't alarming to anybody. But anyway, like I said, I just want to say thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble and talk about General Hospital and all the other stuff that's going on. But like I said, this has been a very, very good weekend. Very enjoyable weekend to where, it's been hot as hell out here. But then again, it's like I'm sitting here just watching the basketball games and really enjoying, watching them. And like I said, Portland, Boston, it doesn't matter. Watched a little bit of Utah. I watched a little bit of New Orleans. Get to see a few players. Memphis is looking, pretty good. Like I said, I really like basketball. But, like I said, Lakers going to have to get this act together if they really want to win this championship. And believe me, this championship means more than a lot of other championships because we're going to try to win this one for Kobe Bryant and his memory. So, but anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Listen to the podcast. And like I said, now it's time for big props. And like I said, big props to my man Jeff Duarte over at Cali Sports News. I give him the second big props today because, like I said, this is exciting. I never thought that in August we would see basketball, baseball, and hockey probably in the same month. And since there's going to be no preseason, hopefully if these teams and these sports carry over, in September we might see football, baseball, basketball, and hockey for the first time ever. And believe me, that would be really something to see. And like I said, sports now is just, it's getting back to, the original thing. And hey, you know what? I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see sports is back. Not like we used to know it, but it's back. At least we can say, hey, look, we got a basketball game to watch. And, I don't mind watching games in the middle of the afternoon. That's pretty cool, too. Sit up and watch, somebody playing at about like 2 or 3:30 in the afternoon. That's pretty cool, But anyway, big props to my man Damian Adams. He's always a great podcast to listen to. Great dude. I appreciate you, my Navy brother, my podcast brother. The Real Deal with Damian Adams is his podcast, and you got to check it out. It's really, really nice. Really, really great stuff. And like I said, this podcast stuff for me is an educational thing. And like I said, I listen and I'll come up with some of the things on my own. But like I said, I refer to Damian Adams as like a podcast mentor. Thank you, Damian. Appreciate you. My man, Three Wise Men, Jeff Shepard, Hip Hop BC. Just watched the animated episode again. Really, really cool. You do a great job, Jeff. You the man. You're crazy as hell. But, Guru Talkin Sports Podcast, really appreciate you. My man Happy, the original pioneer, DJ and MC, Hip Hop TBT, the biblical truth. That's his thing. And we appreciate you as well. Thank you. My main man, rapper, MC, Cool Kyle Star Child, the original Star Child, Spec One. Thank you. Now, I got to give a shout out to a couple people that listen to the podcast regularly. And I appreciate you guys. And like you say, you always, it's really cool when you got people out there that pick up the podcast and they always let you know how everything is going. And, they really do give me a lot of feedback. I want to say big props to my man, Jeff in Southland. My man Jeff in Southland from JR Posse. Appreciate you. And Bella B. Bella B, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for always, checking on me and checking out the podcast. I really appreciate you, Bella B. Thank you. Also, I want to give credit to my staff. Staff is Guru, your host. Caden Guru is the executive producer and board op. And he's not here today, but ain't no big deal for Caden. Caden's a young man that has really, really good ambitions, and hopefully I like to see him do something really good in the media field if he can, if he doesn't play sports. Vinny V, my man, executive technical advisor. Appreciate you, Vinny V. Thank you. Ray Guru, my brother. Appreciate you, the musical director and engineer. He always comes up with something good to play, and believe me, I really appreciate him. Dante Guru, show advisor. Show advisor basically gives me tidbits and insights on little things, and I really appreciate you, Dante Guru, for being my show advisor. Derek Guru. Derek Guru is my co-host, and he's my sports informant. He always gives me sports information that I usually don't see. But like I said, I really appreciate it. And most of the time, he wants me to throw it on the air and put it on the podcast, and I definitely will. And like I said, I really appreciate you. We're gonna have to bring you back in a little bit. Appreciate you. Like I said, thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been a Black Goat production for Black Goat Entertainment, and like I said, we always freeway close. We're always on, and we're always talking. And like I said, I'll be back next week, and hopefully next week we can see some more basketball and baseball and hockey and better play as well. Like I said, they're still rusty. They're still ironing out the kinks and trying to get everything in order. So now, like I said, we got some outro music today. And like I said, we will appreciate you listening. And please come back and check us out. Check us out, and like I said, rate us, give us some stars, give us your feedback, and let us know how we're doing. And we appreciate you. Goaty, I'm going to play the outro music, if you don't mind. All right, play some outro music. Since it's the summertime, it's only appropriate that I play some of the old school. And when this old school stuff I really appreciate and I really like, it's got to go back to my old school group, the Treacherous 3. At the Party, the instrumental version. Check it out. You guys take care. We'll see you next time. The Guru will talk to you real soon. Later.